Imagine a world not so different from our own, but ruled by creatures of fur, scale, and feather. This is the story of their great war, a conflict that shook their world to its very core. In the heart of the European forest, a pack of fearsome bears, led by a charismatic but ruthless leader, dreamed of a thousand-year empire. They spoke of reclaiming ancient territories and believed they were the superior species, destined to rule. To their east, a vast and powerful kingdom of gorillas, ruled by a stern silverback, was consolidating its power, wary of the bears' growing ambition. Across the channel, a pride of steadfast lions, with their bulldog spirit, guarded their island kingdom, a global empire of their own. And far across the great western ocean, a convocation of mighty eagles soared, watching the growing storm from a distance, believing the oceans would protect them. The first tremor was felt when the bear pack, with swift and brutal force, marched into the neighboring lands of the peaceful cattle. The world watched in shock. Then they allied with a cunning clan of wolves from the southern peninsulas, their howls echoing promises of a new order. The lions, bound by an ancient pact with the cattle, declared that the bears' aggression would not stand. But they were too late. The bears' blitzkrieg, a lightning-fast assault, overwhelmed the defenders. The bears then turned their gaze towards the lands of the elegant roosters. Despite a brave defense, the rooster kingdom fell. The lion pride found itself alone, their roars of defiance echoing across the channel as the bears' aerial forces, the fearsome hawks, began to circle their island. The bulldog prime minister of the lions vowed they would never surrender. They would fight on the beaches, in the fields, and in the streets. Then the conflict exploded into a true world war. The bear leader, in a shocking act of betrayal, turned on his gorilla ally. A colossal struggle began on the vast eastern plains, a war of attrition between bear and gorilla, fought in scorching summers and bone-chilling winters. The gorillas, despite staggering losses, refused to break. They defended their motherland with a ferocity that stunned the world. Meanwhile, in the distant jungles of Asia, an ambitious empire of tigers was on the move, seeking to establish its own dominion. They saw the European conflict as their opportunity. In a sudden and devastating attack, they struck the Eagle's naval fleet, which was peacefully anchored in a tropical bay. The sleeping giants across the ocean were brutally awakened. The Eagles, enraged, unleashed their full industrial and military might, their screeches of vengeance joining the global chorus of war. The world was now a battlefield. In the sweltering deserts of the north, crocodile divisions clashed with the lions and their allies. In the vast oceans, silent sharks hunted in packs, trying to starve the lion island into submission, while the eagles and lions fought back with their own formidable sea power. In the skies, swarms of eagles, lions, falcons, and gorilla hawks battled for supremacy. The tide began to turn. On the eastern front, the gorillas, after a titanic battle in a city named after their leader, began to push the exhausted bears back. It was a slow, grinding, bloody advance, but it was unstoppable. From the west, a massive force of eagles, lions, and free roosters stormed the beaches of the Rooster Kingdom in the largest amphibious invasion ever seen. It was the beginning of the end for the Bear Empire. Caught in a two-front war, the bears' power crumbled. The eagles and gorillas raced towards the bears' capital, a city of grand monuments now reduced to rubble. The bear leader, realizing his thousand-year empire had lasted barely a decade, vanished in the final days of the battle, his dark dream turning to ash. In the Pacific, the war against the Tiger Empire was equally ferocious. The Eagles fought a brutal island-hopping campaign, facing a foe that would rather perish than surrender. The fighting was savage, from dense jungles to volcanic sands. Finally, to end the horrific bloodshed and prevent a costly invasion of the Tiger homeland, the Eagles unleashed a new and terrible weapon, a power stolen from the sun itself. Two flashes of blinding light over to Tiger cities brought the Great War to its shuddering, terrifying conclusion. The world fell silent. The dust settled on a landscape of ruin. Tens of millions were gone: bears, gorillas, lions, eagles, tigers, cattle, roosters, and countless other creatures. Entire cities were flattened, ancient forests scorched. The survivors, from the wise old tortoises who had seen empires rise and fall, to the youngest cubs and chicks, emerged from their shelters into a changed world. They gathered, the victors and the vanquished, and vowed that such a catastrophe must never happen again. They formed a new council of all species, a place to talk instead of fight, to build instead of destroy. The Great War was over, but its scars on the land and in their hearts would remain forever, a stark and somber reminder of the price of hatred and the cost of conflict. The end drew near. On a gray morning, a massive armada of ships carrying lions, eagles, and a coalition of freed animals crossed the channel. They stormed the beaches of Normandy, the territory of the occupied French roosters. It was a day of incredible bravery and sacrifice. Gators stormed the beaches, parakeet paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines, and the combined might of the Allies began the final push. Fighting their way across the continent, they liberated the joyful roosters and squeezed the Germanian Bear Reich from both the west and the east, where the mighty Soviet bears and wolves were relentlessly advancing. The capital of the bears, a city of rubble, was surrounded. The charismatic brown bear, his dreams of a thousand-year empire shattered, met his end in his bunker deep beneath the city. The war in Europe was over. In the Pacific, the Tiger Empire fought on with ferocious tenacity. Faced with the prospect of a bloody invasion of their home islands, the Eagles made a world-altering decision. They unleashed a new, terrifying weapon, a power stolen from the sun itself. Two cities in the Tiger lands vanished in blinding flashes of light. The devastation was absolute. Stunned and broken, the Tiger Emperor finally surrendered. Silence fell across the world. The great conflict was over. The cost was staggering. Millions of creatures, from the smallest mouse to the largest elephant, had perished. Cities lay in ruins, and entire forests were scarred. But from the ashes, a new hope emerged. The animals of the world gathered, vowing to create a united council, a place where disputes could be settled with words, not claws and teeth. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more journeys into history.